Hey guys, it's Marilyn. I hope you're all doing well. I'm sort of like awkwardly angled right now. I think I already broke my ring light, kind of. Like, so there's like this camera mount that you have to put into the ring light to hold your, and it like holds your phone. Well, it holds my phone. That's what I use to record. But I think I like screwed it down too tightly, and I think I stripped the screw, so now it's kind of like hanging precariously. You know, because I've only had the thing for not that long and I've already figured out a way to ruin it. So challenge is like. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is sort of like a question I have or something that I want to ruminate more about as I move forward with this project for my sort of academic-y side of things. It's a question actually that came up in a conversation with a friend of mine the other day. The question that came up is we were talking about this process, and my friend Sarah, my bestie, asked me, so because it's episodic, we were talking about how it's episodic, and she asked essentially, because it's episodic, does it sort of affect the way that you write? And I thought this was a really interesting question, and it's one that I want to ponder as I move forward. The thing is, with this season, I had a lot of the season already written. That's not to say that I didn't write some of these chapters like the week or 2 weeks before they came out. I actually added a couple of characters this season that did not exist in the portions that I had already written. So I added them because there was some higher order plot stuff that I was still sort of ruminating on, and I was sort of trying to come to a solution on how to bring certain things to bear and how to sort of resolve them. And just, I don't know, I needed to add some characters basically for plot reasons. And so I added a couple of them, and I'll even tell you which ones they were, so if you've been listening you'll kind of know. But Diggory, the castle groundskeeper, is someone that I added. I always knew that the character sort of in its essence was going to exist, but I just had not necessarily completely conceptualized the character. Like, I knew what the function was going to be, but I hadn't written necessarily the chapters yet because I was still unsure how I wanted to present the character, if that makes sense. The other character I added was Guinevere, who is the Clarity Sect councilwoman, and this is actually really was like a legitimately new character from the time I started writing and recording. A lot of her addition also has to do with major plot points, but they were major plot points that I've sort of added as sort of higher order subplot type stuff. And so her character just needed to exist for that. So those are some writing things that I've had to like sort of add as I went. And I did say sort of before that I'm a little bit worried about the fact that I'm sort of writing something that's not complete. Like, I'm releasing it while it's incomplete, because I can only add characters and things. I can't take away from things that I've already written and released here, right? So I'm trying to maintain a certain level of consistency in this story, right? So it is sort of complicated in trying to keep all of that on track, because I really need to make sure and go back and read through things that I've already released, just to make sure that I don't like contradict something that I've said in the past or things like that. And as you've probably noticed, there is a sort of overlapping of timing, so you're sort of seeing certain events kind of not like first person directly through the character's eyes, but sort of you follow different characters, but the timelines kind of coalesce in some ways. So one of the things that I've been doing when I write this is I've been sort of keeping a timeline of events, and I have sort of generally what's being done, and then I sort of, even though I give you like a time at the beginning of the chapter, episode, whatever, still having that problem with language, obviously, even a couple months after recording the initial video, because you'll notice now I have my faded mermaid here again. Because the first video you saw from the postseason was I recorded like weeks ago. But anyways, back to the other question. So yeah, I've been keeping like some storyboarding and timelining, which is not something that I've really done before when I've written, but I think that's more the nature of the story and how it's being told than in the sense of the narrative side of things, not necessarily the medium that's being told in. But I don't know if, just in terms of how it's affected my writing, though, it just makes me have to be a little bit more conscientious than usual about the details that I'm putting down right away, because like I don't want to do anything contradictory as I continue to write in like a certain chapter or something, but then mess it up later. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to. I have to think a lot more hard and do a lot more research into what I've already written as I write. And that is a difference in the way that I have been writing this versus what I usually would write if I'm just writing a book but not having any parts of it released yet, right? Because I always figure I'll have time to edit later for like little things or whatever, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's just a little bit different. I hope I'm making sense. I have no idea if I am. So then the other thing that we talked about a little bit in the course of sort of trying to address this question of whether or not this affects the way that I write. So we were talking about the season finale, and there's something that's revealed during that finale. And, we talked a little bit about whether or not I would have added that if it hadn't been a sort of season finale. So if I hadn't been sort of producing this in an episodic sort of way, and doing sort of seasons of it rather, and I thought it kind of reminded me of kind of a merge of things, because it is a little bit television-esque to do something like that, but it's also very series-esque to do something like that. So maybe this is something like a series. I don't know. I'm still working on the vocab thing, but again, that's still relevant to like sort of the way that I write. And I'm thinking, I'm not sure I would have revealed the thing that is revealed at this point in time if I had been writing it as like a part of a greater, like, I maybe have produced maybe like a novella worth of words. I don't know. So is that just like a short first part of a series? I don't know. Still working on that vocabulary. I'm telling you, it's tripping me up. But yeah, but then it's kind of like writing like maybe the end of a first part of a book, or the end of a first part of a series. I don't know. So, yeah, I just don't know. I felt like I needed to reveal something to get people to sort of come back for next season. And so I sort of revealed it, even though perhaps I wouldn't have. Maybe I would have. I don't know. It's just like such a weird question to think about now that it's already written in. Like, would I have done that before? I'm just not sure. But I think it's an interesting question, and so I don't know. So I'm just going to ruminate on this more, like how the sort of medium and the way that I'm releasing it is sort of dictating or adding to or taking away from maybe how I sort of view my usual practice of writing. So yeah, it's good question, Sarah, because seriously, I just don't know. So I'm going to continue to think on that. I don't know. What do you guys think? You can feel free to comment down below, because I'm willing to have conversations about these things, because they're legitimately interesting questions to me, and I want to know what you think about that. So I'm just going to kind of end it there. So I'll see you next week.